And everybody, it's Tim Reazor with Revere Asset Management, just after 3:30 here on a Wednesday night. So very quickly, stock nerds, market lovers, before you and I begin tonight's sojourn into the market, listen, let's do a few things here real quick. I got a question, Tim. Video podcast, where is it? Video podcast is actually on revereasset.com right here. By the way, a lot of comments on this. I appreciate all your thoughts on this week's video podcast. The audio version, Google Play, the Apple, I believe it's the iTunes Store. You just search on your phone or your tablet or your computer or Your Money by Revere Asset. You'll find us in the audio version, and it can be delivered right to your device. Let's see here. Want to backtest? I got this question again recently. So if you want to backtest, it's like, I want to know what you guys did in the pandemic sell-off, or I want to know what you did in the rate rise sell-off that was 2018. Listen, all here, you just go to Daily Market Insight, and you can scroll down through all of our videos all the way back through 2014. We never put, that's when we started doing them. We never pull a video down. And so you can see right, wrong, indifferent, how we did, how we handled it, and then what we did subsequently after the event. That's the best way that you can get a fact-based approach. And we don't edit them. We sure as hell don't go back and change anything that would. That is not who we are as a people. So, and then listen, stock nerds, market lovers, these videos here and everything. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, take umbrage with anything that I'm saying. All you have to do is email me right here, timrevereasset.com, 855-732-5932. Look, you want to talk to the people making the decisions in the portfolios, what's on their buy list, why they're buying, why they're selling, what they're doing. They will actually answer you. Unlike any strip mall advisor, they just give you plausible deniability. Well, we have you in this life cycle fund, and we have you in this bond fund, and it's plausible deniability. And then if you're not happy with the fund's performance, the person that you hired, meaning strip mall advisor, they don't get fired per se. They fire the fund manager, and you'll just, I mean, there's more mutual funds and ETFs than there are stocks tradable, right? And so you'll be there forever. So listen, you want to talk to the people, whether you're a client or not, you just want to get a second opinion on what you're doing. Reach out, Alex, Don, Hunter. Want to talk to America's fiduciary right here. Danny owns the firm. I said, give you something about Danny. Danny has put his trust in transparency. I tell you, long before people were doing videos about the market the way we do them, Danny had faith that our transparency and our business model of giving everything away we do pretty much for free. Just help you enable individual investors. The rare person who thought that back in 2014 when I came on board, and listen, a pioneer in that. And let me tell you, he trusts us all to talk to you every evening, our beloved audience, and do everything in our powers to empower what you're doing and hopefully make your lives a little bit better. So listen, 855-732-5932. That really honestly is the easiest way to get to Danny. He gets inundated every day. So give him a call, get on his calendar, especially if you feel like you're stuck in an annuity or in life insurance. And then stock nerds and market lovers, these videos, they are for what? Your edification purposes only. Never ever to be misconstrued advice. My advice, advice, you have to do this back. Give us a call. And then look, you guys have been emailing me and messaging me. There's another message about it right here. Look, at TJ Reazor is my Twitter handle. There's a group of people just like you. They talk about our content. They talk about the markets all day. You can work. You can join in the conversation. The bottom line is they are super user friendly. Like, they're nice people. The people you'd want to talk markets with, not. I want to bite my tongue here, but they're not nice people. That's the nicest way I can say that. So they are awesome, and they're supportive and helpful and everything you'd want in someone to talk markets with. And so if you want to do that, I affectionately call them the IPO Club. I don't lead it. I just facilitate a place for them to meet. They're going to start changing the venue to which they meet, but they'll get that word out to everybody when they find a platform that's suitable for everybody. But they share charts. Like, I've got a white bar chart right here, this WB chart, and I'll show you that here in a minute, that they kind of work off of as their primary study, and you're more than welcome to take a look at that. So let's dive into it, because what I want to talk about here is I want to just kind of write down, it's not an acronym per se, but a close below the low of the high bar. And that is not an acronym. I'm just trying to, I want to say it clearly each and every time. So how do reversions to the mean start? How do potential sell-offs start? They start with a close below the low of the high bar. Okay, and you've got that today on the S&P. So I want to talk to you about that. And so, and you have it on 3 of the 4 major indices. And so this is how reversions start. And so do they have to lead to reversions back to the 21 here, which would be 44.65. So we're just going to round here. That's 100 points low. Okay, you were at just about 4,600. Are you about to go down to 44.65? And if you start getting below that level, then it really does start getting interesting. I don't know if it does any of this, but I do think you probably now, let me just write this down here before somebody hears something. Listen, a lot of people hear what they want to hear, and I want to be very clear and direct with you here. Amazon reports tomorrow. That's it. And we haven't had Apple yet, by the way. And so those two stocks are going to determine a lot here. But it is interesting that ahead of those two major earnings reports, that we've had a close below the low of the high bar. And so that takes us right here back to the 5. Tim, that's another big deal. No, it's no big deal. I want to stress this here. And by the way, I am not bearish on the markets or in fact life, but I do think that you have a period here where you're about to potentially slide back into the 21. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't point that out to you. Like, I would be remiss. It wouldn't be right. It's in my heart that I think that that's what's going to happen. And thank God I'm empowered enough to be able to bring that analysis to you. Now, anything I say other than bullishness, some people do get up in arms with me. That's okay. If we don't slide back to the 21, that's okay too. But what is the trajectory and how do these things start? They start with a close below the low of the high bar. And you can see the YMs here. YMs absolutely had that today, a close below the low of the high bar. There we go. I actually texted the fellas yesterday. I said, perhaps we're in, I think my text was perhaps a momentary pause is in order here. And because you could kind of see that little topping tail develop yesterday, and there was a few other things. And now you got the close below the high bar, you're down to the 8. Well, the 30, you're just at 35,000. This is no big deal, right, in the whole scheme of things. It gets interesting if you start getting below that level, but we cross that bridge when we come to it. How about the RGY? Oh, you're already at, below 21. You'll close below the high bar. Yep. Okay. Interesting, right? And you got that with crude, right? Did you get that with crude yesterday or today? I believe you got that with crude today. Yep. Well, no, it was yesterday, I believe. It closed the low buyer yesterday, and then this move here, and you're probably on your way back to the 21. Does it work, Tim? Tell me something. Does it work on Bitcoin? Why, yes, it does, Johnny. It works on Bitcoin. It works on all charts. The close below the high bar on all charts, Johnny, actually starts a reversion back to the mean in most cases. It doesn't have to. There are no absolutes in life. Just like in life, Johnny, there are no absolutes, right? Everything comes with, a little asterisk. Like, typically, this is what happens. But once you get that close below the high bar, you get the reversion. Did you have it yesterday? No. Did you get it today? Yes. Did you get to the mean already? Yes. Could it go lower? Yes. Do I think it's going maybe to like 53, down to 34 to test? Probably. But it doesn't have to do anything, right? So the note here is that you got to close below the high bar today on S&Ps. And so you want to just be weary that, well, what would you do with that information? Take your entire account and go short it? Why, hell's no. And I can't be any more clear than that. Hell no, you wouldn't do that. Would you maybe not be so aggressive until you maybe got some smaller time frame consolidation and then a signal that you're actually going to reverse to the upside? Yes, you might want to wait for that. You might want to be not so aggressive here. Could you put like a put debit spread on? You could. Could you sell call credit spread? You could. If you don't know what those things are, they don't matter. The bottom line is here, you need to be able to use the information I give you in a positive way, meaning it makes a difference to you. And so it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, by no means am I the word of God. There's only one of those. And so listen, you haven't had that where? On the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has not given you a close below the low of the high bar. It hasn't done that. And it probably won't do that. Tomorrow is such an important day for the NASDAQ, right? But you had things that were higher today, reverse lower, like TWTR was much higher pre-market, and you've kind of seen this type of rollover. Let's look at XLC real quick. I'm curious about that XLC because that's where Google lives. And look at XLC, right? Like Google, XLC's rolled over. IYT. Have the transports gotten a close below the low of the high bar there? So you had two of these. Now roll 3, like that have been moving. IYT, the transports have. Let me be careful. Some people hear the word rollover, and I'm going to get emails. Listen, send me all the emails you want. but you've had a close below the high bar for the transports. You've had a close below the high bar of oil, and you've had a close below the high bar in 3 of the 4 major indices, also to include XLC. So, like transport's coming down here to the mean, not the biggest of deals, but you're going to feel that in the markets, right? You're going to feel that in stocks. And so I want you to be aware of it. And the other thing I want you to be aware of too is let me set this up for you, is what probably, I shouldn't say probably, what has a possibility of happening. So we're going to shift out of the indices here. I want to talk to you about something here. I'm a probabilistic individual. What are the probabilities of something happening? And I think what I'm about to show you, the probabilities are high, but does that mean you go out and short the hell out of this? No, let me be clear. I couldn't be more clear. It doesn't mean that. And by the way, have I told you that these videos are for what? Your edification purposes only. They are never ever to be misconstrued as advice. Oh, that's right, Nora. Clap for that. Clap. Yes. High five. They're never ever to be misconstrued as advice. If you want advice, seek advice. Yes. All you have to do is what? In fact, give us a call at 855 Real Wealth. So listen, let's look at a few things here. Let's look together. Who remembers high times? Get it? And misdemeanors. Tilray, right? Not Tilray to 22 down to 10. That's a travesty. How about Tilray? How about Tilray, right? Up to 300. Look at this, Twin Peaks, except this is worse than that show, and that show sucked. 300. Okay, Twin Peaks right there, Tilray, right? And then let's look at CGC, right? CGC, 60. Couldn't quite get there, and now we're at like 12, 13, okay? So those are stocks that people are really excited about, and they all pile in, and then somebody's left holding the bag at the highs. Right? Somebody bought 59.25, right? Somebody bought that and they're still holding it, right? Like somebody rang the bell up there, didn't believe it, and now it's at 13. So, but you know that, like that, I'm not telling you anything new. Or what about like, remember DDD, this is like the poster child for this, but DDD is really exciting at 56, 57. It's only trading 27 now, but just a couple short years ago, it was at 98, 97, 98. Right. Well, every cycle has these excitable names, these names that people can't wait to pile into. And now the democratization of information has made this even more accessible. Reddit, and Twitter, and the news media trying to keep up with Reddit and Twitter, and which might exacerbate the problem or the issue, depending upon how you look at it. But we have this cycles. How about I had to call Hunter. I was like, Hunter, I've been doing a search of SPACs that suck. And I was just getting too many names. Like, give me the ones that were former leaders, ones that people really talked about in institutional circles, the folks that know, right? Not the SPACs that get poo-pooed per se by the highbrow. I want the stocks that are cherished by the highbrow, the hoity-toity, if you might. Butterfly was absolutely positively one of those, and look at that, down to from 29 to 10. Interesting, right? How about this one? Blink. Do not blink because your money is gone. 64 down to 28. Okay. How about, let's see here. We had Blink. Oh, QuantumScape, he's holding. Oh, yes, QuantumScape. How could I forget QuantumScape? Old QS, 132. Yikes, down to 23. And cherished Crimson and Clover. Remember that song? 60 song. Crimson and Clover. 28.85 all the way down to 727, which used to be an airplane by Boeing, and Boeing is, yeah. Everybody knows what's happening with Boeing, right? Just bad management. So reported this morning. So now, where does that leave us? Let's talk Trump SPAC, DWAC, or DWAC'd, right? As in it got DWAC'd. And it probably, there's a really good chance that this gets whacked even more. And so, but let's talk about this from just this chart. Well, Tim, what does this chart have to do? And I think, look, this is a chart, Tim, that went up to 175. That's normal from 10, and then came back to the 8 and is now trading at the 5. All technically normal. And you know what? I kind of can't argue with you. Even though it hit this high and it came back here, and it's trading at the 5, you're like, well, Tim, in normal stock, you'd tell me that's a bullish chart. Why is this not a normal stock? This price action in a SPAC, SPAC, is typical for some of them, right? But it's not sustainable. And so let me show you Clover here. Now let's type in Crimson and Clover. CLOV, healthcare name from earlier this year. And if I sneeze, I apologize. I do not mean to sneeze on you. Apologize. I could not get to the mute button. CLOV. Okay, here's Clover. Okay, and by the way, if you want the white bar chart, you can hit up anybody on the IPO club. Or just email me, tim@revereasset.com, and they will be more than happy to help you out there. Okay, so here's Clover, and so everybody knows I love my ATR charts. They give me a visual representation of facts, right? Like extended is at 3 ATR above the mean. I've explained this ad nauseum. If you don't know how to use the ATR charts because you're new to my work, I am more than happy to help you out. You can call 855 Real Wealth. You can email me, tim@revereasset.com, and be more than happy to help you out here. So you go up to the 3 HR and you pull back to the zone of the mean. That's all normal. And then you get this big run up, right? And you got that big run up to, let me just scrunch the chart down there, 28. And then you're just kind of like in the mean here, one more 3 HR move, and then down you go. But the thing here is, this is the kind of reminiscent price action of DWAC. Like Clover, I think, has kind of a bead, or DWAC has a kind of a bead on the Clover price move here. And so you get the big move, get them excited, get the really super big move, and now a series just going lower here. And you can see that in QuantumScape. You can if you have these charts, you'll be able to map it out too. You can see it in BFLY. And now let's do DWAC, DWAC. So what did you do? Yeah, everything pulls back to the mean, right? Well, it'll pull back to the mean and found support. What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't find support here? What if it wants to traverse down a little bit lower? The mean, if it, well, excuse me, hasn't come back to the mean yet, pardon me. The mean is down here at 30. That's, you're trading 65. So that is a big percentage drop, right? Tim, that's not going to happen. Look, this has nothing to do with. This is going to be a good thing to study, because what I'm describing may not happen. What I'm describing doesn't have to happen, but there are people going to be listening to this video telling me that you don't understand. The people that bought this are all long-term holders, and that's how price doesn't go down. They're long-term holders. And I think talk is cheap till price starts moving. And when price moves from, somebody rang the bell at 175, somebody rang the bell at 122, somebody rang the bell at 88, somebody bought today 73.19. If price were to just revert on the daily chart back to the mean, it's probably going to end up doing what? Going back to where it came. Is it going to go all the way back to 10, where SPACs originate from? And where did this one originate from? Yeah, like 10. You can see the 10 bar right up in here somewhere. It doesn't have to. I mean, close enough for government work, right between 20 and 10. And so I think that that's probably a possibility, but you don't have to do anything with this but study, because I think this is going to be one of the most interesting charts to study for investor psychology. And probably worth taking some notes on and talking about. It has nothing to do with political affiliation, has nothing to do with politics, has everything to do with price and sentimentality. And my core belief that investing is 90% psychological, and I think this was probably going to be the poster child for that statement. So we shall see, though, and it will be interesting to go through this journey with you. But the overall, this is not the focus of the video. This is, don't get caught up in the Clove hype, oops, CLOV, just like you don't get caught up in the QuantumScape hype, just like if you blinked, you lost your money. You just want to be able to open this with your eyes wide open. Gosh, another eye joke. That last one I didn't even try. So look, but the main focus, the main thrust of this video is you had a close below the low of the high bar. If you were to get that, and look at these, I mean, it's been a great recovery, right? 44.65, we'll call that on S&Ps. So look for 100 points lower. Maybe you test this -1 zone, go back to 4,400. Who knows? But it's easier to see on the Qs. And you don't have that signaling yet on the Qs, but if you were to get a close below the high bar, move back here down to we'll just call it 370, 371. I don't think it's out of the cards. By no means is out of the cards. And then if it really wants to get funky down, like down to this -1, -2, but you got to cross those bridges when you come to them. Let me see something here, because there's something interesting coded on these white bar charts too. And I don't know, let me see if I can do it on IWM. Yeah, so IWM here. So you can see the 5 coming through the 8. And so that is always, yep. That 5 through the 8 is, like I say, it's the start. It's the start. And you haven't had that. Let me do SPY. You haven't even had that, right? And so just take it for what it's worth. Look, you got the 5 starting to curl over. Now, does it curl back below the 8? Does it take it down to 21? I don't know. The inkling's there. The impetus is there. There's kindling. Matches are in the box. Let's see what happens together. And the great news here is it's Wednesday. So tomorrow night, you get the Amazon earnings. When is Apple report? It's usually towards, it's tomorrow. So it is tomorrow. Sorry, I have my days off here. So you get Amazon and Apple tomorrow. That's going to dictate just absolutely everything here. So really fascinating. Like what I just described doesn't have to play out. If the market, whether they're great earnings or not, how the market interprets those is probably going to determine direction. And then Friday, we've got the podcast together and we can talk about this stuff and absolutely get the game plan going forward for the following week. So listen, I hope that all helps. I hope you had a good time. Hope you enjoyed it. And let's see, Hunter, I believe, is your video tomorrow night. And then we will see you at the podcast. So with that, hope you have a great night, and I'll see you at the next update.